Sir Taylor, practice papers are quite an important part of the 11 Press preparation process, but there are key mistakes that parents can make when implementing practice papers. Perhaps you can go over those.
Well, there are a few main ones that come immediately to mind. The first is actually parents getting their children to do too many papers. Now, some parents seem to practice the philosophy that the more papers their child completes, the better prepared they will be, but that's actually not correct. I'll elaborate on that in a minute. The other mistake some parents make is that they obtain too few papers for their child to practice, and a certain number is needed in order to give enough coverage and enough variety. So there's a certain minimum, if you like, that is required. Then probably the biggest mistake that parents make is that they focus almost exclusively on the score that their child achieves in a practice paper, when actually that's probably the least important thing about a practice paper. And the most important thing about a practice paper is not learned when doing the practice paper. It's learned after the child has completed the practice paper, when they do their corrections. And so what they learn from that practice paper is the point of it, if you like. It's the most important thing. And yes, scores are important, but actually the only scores that count for anything are the ones in the actual 11 Plus exam, and not the ones in practice papers. The only thing that counts from any practice paper is what the child learns from it. So that's the biggest mistake by far that parents make, by focusing on the scores in the papers rather than what is learned from the paper. Now, going back to the problem of doing too many papers, when a child does too many practice papers, what happens is that the child is focused on getting the paper done in order to, normally, to satisfy their parents. Yes, you've done this many papers, so now you can do something else. But what they're not doing is they're not focusing on doing their best or in learning from it, because there's only so much that you can do at a sitting or in a day. And normally on a school day, maximum of one practice paper to complete it, get it marked and do the corrections. That is ample. On a weekend or a non-school day, I would say 2 practice papers, and at a push perhaps 3. Any more than that and the child will not be getting the benefit of doing the papers. The parent will be getting psychological benefit that, oh, my child has done this many papers. Unfortunately, that will not make their child any better prepared for the 11 Plus exam. The child will be going through the motions and not learning. So the practice papers will, if you like, have been, in a sense, wasted. Good papers from which little benefit has been gained.
And if you'd like to find out more about the courses available, or just have some questions about the 11 Plus, then give Sir Taylor or one of his colleagues a call on the number provided through the Contact Us button.